Love the intro. Gonna have a new one made, but that's literally walking from the shipping room to my desk there. So, Josh, what's up? LJ's live. How we doing
What's up?
tonight?
What's up, homie? How you doing?
I finally got rid of that headache I've had all day, so I'm actually feeling good, feeling all right, and ready to get after it tonight. I'm in a good mood, ready to go.
Good deal. Let's do it. All
Yeah.
right.
Speaking of like good moods, man, I know you had the Phillies in 6, and I was saying Astros in 6 the whole time. Tell me what happened. Walk me through it, Josh.
The Astros in 6. I was wrong. There's nothing right about that. They kind of let me down a little bit, but again, like I said, I wasn't invested. I like the sport. Uh, there's always next year if you're a Philly fan, right? But you still have the Eagles to look forward to. Still undefeated. Um, Hurts is still playing well. Still my pick for MVP, although Patrick Mahomes may have something to say about that, I think, after the Titans, but I think we'll get into that later. Yeah, congratulations, Houston. Again, not a fan, but they deserved it. They got some good rookies. Alvarez hit a bomb, which I'm sure everybody knows by now. Very cool. Storybook ending for them. Good for them. And Dusty Baker. Let's give Dusty Baker a high five. Wherever you at, Dusty. High five. You got your ring. Congratulations to you.
Yeah, I was not invested at all, but Philly lost 2 championships that day with the MLS Cup as well. And then I was just rooting for him. Like, I like Castellanos. I like Bryce Harper. Like, people hate Bryce Harper. I
They're
think
ballers, though.
he's very difficult to not like. Like, people like hate him for what he left Washington. He did this, he did that. And, like, I like the dude. But now we got the free agency, Mr. Number 62. We got Judge. Some guy named Justin Verlander might go to Chicago. Some guy named Carlos Correa.
Might go to Chicago.
Guy named DeGrom, Trey Turner. Contreras, your guy might go to St. Louis. Where people ended up, man?
You know what? I'm going to say, first of all, you never know what's going to happen in free agency ever, because just when you think you have it figured out, or when you know where somebody's going, or even when you hear where somebody's going, they don't know where they're going until the very last second. So I just off the cuff predictions here. I think Judge stays in New York. I think he does. Verlander, he may sign a 1-year contract to stay in Houston. I don't know. Don't really care. I'm happy for him. Probably going to win the Cy Young this year. Correa opted out after 1 year. Can't say I didn't see that one coming. I think everybody else did too. A lot of talk about everybody going to Chicago this year to spend a lot of money. Just as long as it's not the White Sox. But, wrong Chicago team. Jacob DeGrom, Trey Turner. You don't know. These are just some of the, basic free agents that should be at the top of the class. How much money they'll get, who knows? Contracts are ridiculous now. You know that. I know that. Just when you think that Mike Trout all of a sudden, has $500 million plus some, somebody might come along and finally sign that contract. Who knows? I don't know if I'll see it. I don't know if anybody will see it, but it's definitely exciting. The hot stove this time of year for baseball, very exciting. We miss baseball, but yet we can still kind of have that excitement with where's everybody going and where they're going to end up and all that stuff. Another big talk is Ohtani. Is he going to get traded? Is he not going to get traded? Should they trade him? Probably. Are they going to? Probably not. I don't know. My opinion, again, don't really care. But somebody, if they do pull that off, is going to pony up probably more than what the Nationals got for Soto. So we'll see.
Yeah, and then Soto also turned down what, $450 million.
He turned down a lot of money.
I mean, bring Judge to Cincinnati. He's just going to start putting balls in the Ohio River.
It is a hitter's ballpark, and that guy can hit.
But I like to think about it. Like, what about Ohtani in New York or Los Angeles, but not the Angels? Because
somebody's going to have the money in the prospects.
Bigger markets, and those cards just skyrocket. Like,
yes.
Verlander's never going to be worth a lot. Neither is DeGrom. I mean, Trey Turner, you can buy rookie cards for $3-4, and he might be the hottest free agent right now. But those Judge cards, when he was chasing 62, were just going nuts. And, you got the MVP vote for this, that, the other. See the stat that no one's ever had this many wins and this many home runs in a year, and it's Ohtani. Like, yeah, I mean, no one's doing what he's doing right now. But also, I'm never going to remember the time Aaron Judge hit 62. I remember when Bonds hit, 73. Sure. I remember where I was with Sosa and McGuire hit theirs. But, like, Yeah, 62 doesn't do it for me. Maybe does it for Mattress Mac. My brother Kevin's in here. Like Mattress Mac, he wants 75 million. 75 million is a lot, but it's not 2 billion, Josh. If you won the Powerball, man, because it was what 2 billion, somebody in LA won it as well. Like, what's the first card you're going to buy? I know my answer. I bet PJ here is going to buy a Ocho Cinco, but what if you won the Powerball, what's the first card you're buying?
The first card I'm buying. And you know what? I really had to think about this, and there really isn't. This is a very generic answer. And I know people are gonna be like, come on, that's crappy. But I'm gonna go with multiple cards here because I couldn't really decide. And I don't really know what order it would be in. So I'm just gonna go. So let's just say, first of all, I'm gonna take a Jordan rookie because that's where I'm at in life right now. I want a Jordan rookie. I'll take any Babe Ruth card. I really don't care at that point because it's Babe Ruth. The 52 mantle, and what was the other one? Oh yeah, Tom Brady. You can't go wrong with any of those. And I'm going to be honest with you.
Would it happen to be a certain Contenders PSA Dual 10 that a certain
somebody might have one? I'm not sure.
Yeah, for me, it's the 2015 National Treasures. There's an Elway Manning Dual Auto. I saw it pop up on eBay like a year and a half ago for more than I was willing to spend. Right now, I'd sell everything on my desk except for my mini helmet over there from Demaryius Thomas that I haven't hung up yet.
There's the Demaryius. You haven't got anything for that yet. You know what? Next week we better see that in something. And hold on, wait a minute. Update on the poster. You still have the poster, right?
I still have the poster. I got the case for it. I just haven't hung it up yet. But that's the card I'm buying. Like investing, I mean, can't go wrong with MJ or like you said, Brady, even Mahomes. Like you're talking MVP, it's not Jalen Hurts for me. It's not Herbert. It's not Burrow. It's Patrick Mahomes. It's Tom Brady. Tom Brady's down right now. Where's he going to be in 5 years when he hits the Hall of Fame? Like he just passed 100,000 passing yards. First person, probably the only person to ever do that. And he's down right now because his team's like 4-5. But okay, you know what? Tom Brady's going to be bad. He's going to go to San Francisco next year, and he's going to win the ship with an amazing defense because that's what Tom Brady does. He wins with amazing defenses. And that card right there just doubled. So
it's skyrocketed.
Money poured into Brady right now. If he retires, whatever, 5 years, return on investment. He retires or he goes to San Francisco, wins the ship, boom skis. Give me 400 days. What are you putting your money into, Josh?
I also think, and I'm going to go back to what I said last week about how important it is to keep that childlike attitude when you're doing this. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to buy memorabilia from the teams when I was a kid. I'm talking like Chicago Cubs from the 80s, of course, because that's who I am. And then I'm going to go anything Bulls from the 90s. Anybody my age, I think, was our age, was probably somewhat a Bulls fan. Just because of the aura that they had around them. So I'm really leaning towards, if I had the money, Powerball money, I'm going to scoop up all that stuff to remind me of my childhood, because let's face it, those were great times. No worries. It's all good. That's where, plus that's where you came up with the love of sport, was when you were a kid. Well, where most people did anyway.
Absolutely, man. And then we talked about a little earlier, we said that it's like, I thought it was hard to not like Bryce Harper.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's hard not to like Albert Pujols, but the most loved man, like in all of sports for me, is Ichiro. We talked a little Ohtani, but what about Hideki Matsui? There's one card here that we've got. I want to show off real quick.
Show him that one.
While you talk about him, but like Ichiro has got to be like the most liked athlete of all time. I think if not him, then who?
I think from more of even a global perspective with Ichiro, and not just here in the States and not with baseball, but just everywhere. Like, I don't know the guy, of course, but I hear he's very likable. I hear he's very nice. Look at this. I'm gonna stop for a minute, but look at this card. Out of 5. My goodness.
Yeah, right now it's current bid $420 with 3 days left for out of 5 Ichiro, Matsui, and Ohtani. Like, can you find singles?
I don't think that you can find anything better than that card right there. It's as far as those players go. It's nice. It's beautiful.
Yeah, this is one card that if I'm winning that Powerball, I want this in my collection.
Sure.
The try booklet to me, I've got a bunch of like Broncos booklets. Let me show off a little Noah Fant right here. So I got a bunch of these. I totally dig on the booklets. You know, this is a playbook out of $199, but that's kind of my thing. That's something that I like to collect. So that's
It's
something
not
that
an LJ's
buy.
podcast. I'm not going to mean to interrupt you, but I have to say this. It's not an LJ's Lounge podcast, whatever we're doing here, without some sort of mention from the Broncos. I look forward to it. I really do.
I mean, like they're playing in Tennessee this weekend, and that's not far from us. We could easily go to the game. And I just asked my dad, I'm like, hey, man, you want to go? And usually he's always down, always wants to go. Like hop in the car. He's like, no. He doesn't say, oh, no, it's too expensive because tickets are ridiculous. It's like, oh, no, it's a Sunday at noon. It's too far away or it's too cold. It's going to rain. He says, no, they're I'm like, exactly. They're a thief of joy. They're stealing it from me this year, Josh. And you know, I love that.
Weather change.
The thief of joy.
Thief of joy.
So on a regular level, like I'm not buying into breaks and stuff to invest. I'm buying my Broncos because they're super cheap right now. Give me we didn't have a first round pick. We don't have one next year either. Well, actually, no, we just got the 49ers. But like Jason Surtain, Javonte Williams, those kind of guys. But you buying into like Fields, Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence, or more of the Herbert Burrow, Josh Allen, Mahomes, or maybe like Zach Wilson, or what about Pickett and Malik Willis? Like they're starting now. Like if you're investing in quarterbacks, which ones are you buying right now?
I would say you're going to probably stay with, Fields is playing well. Mac Jones, if you believe in him, buy him now because you can probably get him cheaper than what you normally could. And Trevor Lawrence, I think that, I don't know how many years you can give a player, but those guys, they're learning their way in the NFL. Watch them play. They're getting a little smarter. Impressed with the way Justin Fields has played this year. Again, I am not a huge Bears fan. I don't follow all the games, but I do know that from what I see from him, he's and also here that he is coming along nicely in Chicago, and they're very happy with him. So those guys for sure. Malik Willis, and I'm probably gonna pass for now, but I agree. Not Willis. I agree, Kevin. Yeah, I don't know. You do your research, figure it out.
I'm really happy you said do your research, Josh, because this weekend is we're in Columbus, Ohio, the Columbus card show. I think it's so important to do your research when you're going to card shows. It can be very overwhelming, and it can be very underwhelming too to go to it. I think you need to go in with a clear plan, some cards that you're looking for, a budget you're willing to spend, and then also be ready to just throw it all out the window because that Patrick Mahomes 1-of-1 shows up for way under comps, and that that's the card you've looked for forever. Or for me, it's like a John Elway auto or something. So I'm actually going to take my daughter on Sunday because she wants to go. So we'll be hitting up the Pokemon tables. But I'm looking for Cody Bellinger short prints because I like Cody Bellinger short prints, and they're really cheap right now. Yeah. I'm looking for a 2017 Joey Votto short print. Like can't find them everywhere. When you do, they're like $400. And I'm going to look in the dollar bins for random Irish players in the NFL and random Duke players in the NBA because that's how I like. And Garrett wants to throw them out the window like the Broncos season. Garrett's a Chiefs fan, so I get it. But yeah, man, I'm going to the card show. I've got a plan. I'm going to probably take that plan and not throw it out the window because I'm going to take a budget, and I've got my daughter there with me. But what do you do when you go to card shows, man?
So this is the kind of question that I was going to propose at this point is how do you prepare for a card show, and what are some tips that maybe you would have if you went to a card show? And I was thinking about this, and you probably first of all know what you're looking for because it could be very overwhelming. You can't just go with an empty slate and a handful of cash. Well, I suppose you could, but have a plan. There are a ton of card shows. This is not the last card show of the world. You're going to get to another one. I would say probably bring a little bit of cash with you because some of those older vendors may not know how to use Zelle or maybe even have a cell phone. I don't know.
And
So
a
make
lot of
sure you
places
have
still
enough
charge you
cash.
that 3% extra too. If
Yes.
you're paying PayPal, they'll take goods and services and it's 3% more. And they'll tell you like, hey, this is the cash price, this is the PayPal price. And we do the same
And you
thing
can't
while we're
blame
at
them.
a place because you're selling a $20,000 card or something. 3% is a lot of money. So
Yes. Yes. So with that said,
oh,
maybe look to buy in bulk as well. Don't just buy one card from somebody. See if they will package 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 cards together. See if there's something depending on your budget. Usually, if you buy a lot of cards, they will tend to work with you on the price, and you can get a deal off of everything. I know that this market can be tough right now as far as prices, but find a way. And again, do your research again, but find a way in this market because there's a way in every market to make money. You don't necessarily have to go for the big fish all the time. Rumble through those dollar bins. You never know what you're going to find in there. And, dollar cards add up. You make $2 or $3 here and there. You get 100 cards. You just made a couple $100. There's nothing wrong with that depending on your goals. But either way, you're making money. Bargain bins. Yeah. Go with the bargain bins, man. That's
and
where I like to start anyway.
Garrett's got a great point here in the comments is bring supplies because supplies are going
That
to be
was
2 to 3
that was
times
also on my
cost.
list, Garrett. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 to 3 times cost. I remember my dad and I went and we bought one of the long old NBA cards, and they didn't have a top loader, didn't have sleeves or anything. He had to spend
You try to fit like
$15.
the top of a top loader into the bottom of the top loader
Yeah,
because if you had
we
to do
should
that,
have
you
done
do it.
that,
I'm
but
sure
we had
people
to
do that.
buy. They wouldn't even fit in card savers. We had to buy like the big top loaders in a pack of like 30 and spend like $6 on it just to get something in there. And it's like, eh. But then, also, and we do it on both sides too, is the trades at card shows.
Yes.
I saw someone post on our buddy who likes the Boston Celtics. I think it's RTB Collectibles.
Okay.
He's one of my friends on Twitter. And he makes a post that I think trading is dead. Like everybody just wants to sell, blah blah blah. Cash is king, and he got this, that, the other comments from people. It's like, hey, I like to trade cards. We get messages all the time in our Instagram feed, like, hey, would you guys trade partial this? I'm like, if it makes sense, we're open to discuss. We're open to do anything. But I'm not trading, a Bowman Chrome first auto of Jeremy Pena for this card right here because it's the recent comp, or I don't know who's playing tonight. For Marcus Mariota has 5 touchdowns tonight.
I don't think that anybody's even watching the game tonight. I was going to bring that up, but I don't think that
when
anybody's
you're trading and you're the trader who wants to do the deal, you're probably going to have to give a little more than the person taking who wants the cash. Sure. Like, hey, I really want that card you have, Josh. I'm going to give you a little more than it's worth, than your card's worth, out of my stuff to make it worth it for you. Or why are you giving it up? So I think trading is a dying form that I would like to see happen more often, especially with kids. Like my kids go to school with base cards and stuff, and they like to trade them with each other. I don't care what they give away or what they come back with. Just don't take, slabs and trade them for. You don't trade Otanis for Jesse Winkers, which my daughter would do happily with, little $2 $5 cards, whatever.
Yeah.
You're taking a PSA 10 Otani auto or a Jesse Winker, Bowman first or something. You just got to be, comparable. And I'm all for it, but I do think it's dying, and I wish it would stay.
Yeah. It's also one of those things, again, going back to when you were a child, is you don't have a lot of money to spend. And of course, cards were a lot cheaper to buy back then, but trading is a good way to get more invested into the hobby and getting more in tune with everything. And that leads to selling, that leads to, who knows, a lifestyle someday. So yeah, you got to start somewhere. But, like I said, reverting back to that childlike behavior, you never get away from that.
I absolutely love it, man. It's great stuff. But, we got some injuries coming up in the NFL this week. Josh Allen's hurt, and he has just been your MVP, my MVP. Nope, sorry. I had Lamar Jackson. You had Hurts. But, Allen's in that conversation now. If he's going to be out, what does that do for the Bills? Because they got Case Keenum. They also have an amazing defense and like the best receivers on the planet. And what does it do for the hobby? Because that takes the whole quarterback tier 1 down a little bit. What are your thoughts?
I think you could look at it both ways. I think from a Josh Allen collector standpoint, I don't think it really it may stagnate it a little bit, but when one guy falls, 10 more rise. So at that point, when one goes down, three or four other guys might have a chance now to make you a little bit more money, and somebody's got to take their place. So sticking to that subject a little bit, Mahomes, he's I think that if he continues to do what he does, because he didn't single-handedly beat the Titans last week, but he pretty much single-handedly beat the Titans last week, because without him, they don't win that game. And again, back to what I was saying about Josh Allen. I don't think his cards are going to be affected that much. There'll be a lull there, but I think that, like I said, this is going to allow other players to step up a little bit and make some people some money in the hobby for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm showing off that same 12-card auto we showed last week. We've got up on our socials and stuff. But Tom Brady and Rodgers are there, both kind of falling off. Mahomes, like you said, played himself back in the MVP conversation. Sure, but like, say Josh Allen takes place of Peyton Manning, who's taking Burrow and Marino's spot for active players? I mean, are you going with like Lamar Jackson or Herbert, or who even would take those two player spots? Like those three guys for active players. Who do you think? Let's go ahead and give one of them to Josh Allen. Who's taking the other two?
I'm a believer in Joe Burrow. I think he's got, especially with that receiving core in Cincinnati. They went to the Super Bowl last year. Seems like a good kid with a good head on his shoulders. He may be having some sort of difficulty right now, but I think that moving forward, Joe Burrow is definitely a guy that I think will at least make the top 6 on this list for sure. I don't know. You never know, and that's kind of the beauty about this is nobody really knew that Patrick Mahomes was going to be Patrick Mahomes, and look what happened there. So you never know.
There's one guy you're missing here, Josh.
Don't say Baker Mayfield.
No.
I just read that in the comment.
No. Geno Smith.
Good for Geno.
The Bears, who we thought they were.
No, good for Geno.
Like, before this year, I put Russ on that list because look what he did. Super Bowl champion, MVP. What about Matthew Stafford, who would have been a great choice until he's kind of hurt right now? But I'm going to go with Burrow. He's earned his way on there. He just went to the Super Bowl. And honestly, I think I would, I can't go to I can't go Fields. I'm like trying to rack my brain. I'm definitely not going like Jared Goff and Danny Dimes, but like I think I'm going Lamar Jackson. Like
I think you have to because that whole offense revolves around him and that whole scheme. They love the tight end, of course, but they don't have the big wide receivers. Definitely a running offense, and he definitely probably wins 2/3 of their games for them alone without anybody else. So absolutely, you can just leave him in there every year just because of how important he is to his team.
Yeah, and I've said Lamar was my choice for MVP. I think that kind of took a little back door now, and I think we're both on the Jalen Hurts train. But Jalen Hurts also has this guy who's kind of a superstar out there,
wide
receiver.
AJ
Brown.
Do we have an AJ Brown
right here? We got that National Treasures 1 of 20 Stars and Stripes RPA, 1800 OBO.
That always had a Titans uniform, but everybody at this day and age in the NFL is usually in 2 or 3 different uniforms. So that doesn't matter anymore, which I guess could, leads to an interesting point, but we'll save that for another conversation as far as players' cards in different uniforms as opposed to getting traded. Do you like them as much, and does the value stay just because they're not in their original team? And a quick preview. I don't think it matters at this stage. I think it matters. It matters what the card is and who it is, and not what team they played for.
I think it matters from like an investment standpoint. It does not matter to me. And I don't think it matters to the hobby either. As a collector,
it does.
I only collect Peyton Manning and a Broncos, Clinton Portis, Champ Bailey, only in Broncos uniform. Like my wife collects Yasiel Puig, but only in a Reds uniform.
Sure.
But also, there's something to be told of a Brett Favre in a Jets uniform compared to a Brett Favre in a Packers uniform. And that's a really poor choice to have used right now with what he's got going on in his life. But that's just the first name that popped in mind who's jumped around. Like Deion Sanders, I think he's good in Atlanta. He's good in Dallas. He's good in San Francisco. You want him in all of them.
And
I mean,
let's be
you
honest,
really
if you
want
like
him in a
prime
Reds
time,
uniform, though. But you know,
if you like prime time, you like prime time. It's not because of the team he played for; it's because he was that good. He was exciting to watch. So whether it's a Falcons jersey or a Cowboys jersey or a 49ers jersey or a Ravens jersey, even the Braves or a Reds jersey, even a Yankees jersey, I don't think it matters. Probably more you want to stick to the football jerseys, but still, it's prime time.
Yeah. All right, Josh, we're hitting 25 minutes. Talk a little bit about what we did this week. I know you had some 54 Bowman, Panini.
It was actually 48 Bowman.
Stuff.
The 50. We're doing so many like older vintage stuff right now that all of these numbers and years just keep getting jumbled up in my head as well. So we're looking at it was actually 48 Bowman, and those cards are really cool. Not because they're so old, but because it was the first year that Bowman actually made baseball cards. So from that standpoint, compared to what Bowman is now, it's kind of cool. I think that what there was 48 cards in the set, roughly 16 short prints. Again, I don't know if I have all the math right. Shout out the Cardboard Connection because they keep us all straight on all that stuff.
I'm gonna go ahead and show one while you're talking.
But there was, key rookies. There's a Yogi Berra rookie in there. There was a Warren Spahn rookie in there. Who am I forgetting? Somebody real quick. Stan Musial was in there. The full set run, other than the Musial, I believe, which is somewhere else in time for us right now. The cards are like what was it? They said they measured 2 1/16 by 2 1/2. So kind of like twice the size of a postage stamp. But where else are you going to find cards like this? Let alone the full set graded. The full set is graded PSA set. It's actually live right now at LJ's card shop on our eBay store. Check them all out. I tell you what, I'm really into the vintage stuff right now, not just because we're doing a lot of it, but because it's kind of cool. It lets you relive some older times, and you watch some older stuff on YouTube, and you see the cards, and the more you handle them, and the more you read about them, it's cool. One thing I noticed about those cards, real quick here, was that just about everyone that I read on the back, it said that no matter who it was, did some sort of service in the U.S. military, whether it be the Navy, the Army, anything like that. Everybody left for 2 or 3 years to go and serve their country, which I thought was very cool.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. I remember you just literally tell me about that when we sat down, like, hey, I've been reading the back of these cards, and this is just education, just sitting there and reading and learning stuff. And where else can you do that but at your day job? It's incredible. Yes. I know I put up some stuff this week. This one was actually put up by Stefan, but I had to check because he ripped the box. I love the color match, man. Like, I know the downtowns all have it, but like the green on green just looks so good on the Celtics Tatum right here. Like that's up there. And then also the like this immaculate. Hold on, let me show this one too. That these Boston Celtics cards that they're putting up are just incredible. Like this is the kind of stuff that passes over your desk. It's just incredible. So the quad auto, right, Bill Russell, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and Paul Pierce, 2 out of 10. Just redemption came back in, get that guy up there. Just the stuff that we're doing this week is what we're going over now at the end, and it's just incredible. I can't believe this is stuff that passes just passing by your desk on a random Tuesday. Like
we also have not just that, but we have a lot of 101 that we put up this week. Still putting up choice basketball. There's a lot of random football cards. We're still doing the there's a ton of $1.99 auctions starting. Good cards. Not just the $2,000 and $3,000 cards. We have something for everybody. Check it out. Again, we don't know until the day of, maybe the day before, what we're even going to put up, which kind of also makes it exciting as well. And sometimes that changes, which is fine. But again, going on what you said, it just, where else are you going to be able to do this? Like, not everybody could say that Boston Celtic card, like, yeah, I got to see that. I got to hold that today, which that card you could have put 12 players on that card and it would have been enough. So again, just cool stuff, man. Just cool stuff.
Absolutely love it, man. That's just looking through our stuff. We got one question left on our list for today. And I know when I used to do this for myself, I always had to end with like a different random question. And that's what we're going to bring back is just a little fun thing. It has nothing to do with anything. But Josh, do you eat ketchup on your steak?
I do not. I don't think that it matters if you like ketchup on your steak. I think eat what you want. But me personally, I just like a good steak. If it's cooked right, and I was always told this when I was a kid. My father told me this. He said, if a steak is cooked right, you don't need anything on it. So that's kind of how I go.
I used to eat ketchup on my steak because my mom taught me that's how it was. She orders steak and says, I need my ketchup out before the steak gets here. That's the type of person my mom is. She knows what she likes, and she goes and she does it. And that's exactly what she wants. Then I started eating like good steak. I'm like, oh, then, the people are giving you the business about it. Like, don't have ketchup on it. So now I go out to like the upper tier steakhouses, like, no ketchup, just cook it properly. And we're all good there. No. You give me like a $1.50 piece of round steak from Walmart or something that just happened to be in the clearance section. Yeah, I might put some ghost pepper salt on it, some ketchup just to get it down. But normal, good cooked steak. If you give me a Jeff Ruby, we're going Jeff Ruby. Jeff.
I guess we could have specified which kind of steak you liked, and if ketchup, sometimes I guess it's all kind of hamburger if you think about it. But give me a good ribeye any day. That would, yeah. A good ribeye cooked right. Let's do it.
All right, man. So we had a good time tonight. It's LJ's Lounge live. Next week, we might get back to recording one on Monday and live on Thursday. Who knows? Josh and I got a long day tomorrow to go through a Pokemon collection together. So whole bunch of time to talk about it and go over stuff. But this has been educational. It's been awesome. Been entertaining. Been fun. For Chris and Josh, see ya.